All right. On today's episode, I welcome on a very special guest. He is Rav Randhawa. He's a junior guard for J Addison Prep Boys basketball team. Rav, how's it going, man?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. First of all, I want to say two things. One, he's not driving for everyone that sees that he's in his car, just to clarify. So, and then two, Rav is out all the way out in Canada, out in BC, out in Vancouver area. Thank you so much for being on the show. It might be one of the furthest destinations for a guest on the show.
Man, no worries. Like the stuff that you do with the basketball community, so thought I'd reach out and get on here.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's great. You do, obviously you're a phenomenal player and heard a lot about you, read a lot about you. And first of all, your AAU season has been underway. You play for Grassroots Canada Elite. And what has the season been like so far for them?
I mean, it's been pretty good so far. We played with we were playing in the recruit look circuit. We had our first tournament, I think it was April 21st and 22nd in Kansas City. We played well there, and I was able to receive some interest from a couple of schools. They contacted my coach, and yeah, man, I'm just preparing myself to go this weekend to Chicago and play in the second session.
Oh wow, that's awesome. What was your experience like? Being in Canada and being in Kansas City and coming down here to showcase your skills in front of the coaches that were that obviously reached out to you.
It was good. Me being from BC, everyone tells me, "Oh, you come out east, it's a different dot. Like it's a different, you know, style of basketball. You gotta adjust your game. This is that." And when I went there, obviously, it's a lot more athletic. But I thought to myself, I can still do what I do, even at this pace with this like athleticism. So I was able to play my game and yeah, basically showcase my talent to everyone that was watching.
Yeah, that's great. And being from the BC area and what you talk about, and I heard this in a past interview with you. Do a lot of guys from that area get overlooked in basketball? Like what's it like up there?
Um, well, I mean, I would say yeah. A lot of people do get overlooked, but it's starting to change now. We've had a couple guys from BC go Division 1. So we've had Fardaz Amac. He was the #1 transfer prospect this year. He's at Texas Tech while still trying to get in the draft this year. We've had James Karnick. He's at Boston College. Sammy Hunter just played at Ole Miss. Miguel Tom Lee. He's at I think Idaho now, and Ty Rowell, who's at CBU. So we've had a decent amount of guys go D1 in the past 4 or 5 years, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can to be the next, and give kids hope, give BC more exposure, and show coaches like recruit BC basically.
Yeah, I mean, and in the sport of basketball, I mean, it's really been a growing phenomenon. Like in Canada, I feel like over the past 7 years, I mean, the Canadian national team looks like it's stacked with all the guys that coming out of there and like your first round picks. What's like the experience? Like, how did that like phenomenon like spread around? Like, what got you into basketball?
So I live in a joint family, which means basically my dad's brother, his family also lives in the same house as me. So their kids, my two older brothers, Peter and Robbie, they were playing basketball when I was born, basically. So I'd always go to their games, even when I was like 3, 4 years old. I'd always watch them, and I'm like, man, this looks fun. So when I was 5, I picked up a ball and haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. That's great for yourself, and and being able to grow, like be a great basketball player and everything. Like when did you start to really know that this was really your sport and start taking it more seriously?
To be honest, I had a game. I think when I was 6 years old, I used to play in like this house league, and I had a game where I had 62 points. And I just remember everyone being like, "Yo, that kid's good. That kid could be special." And I'm like, what? I'm gonna invest more time in this. And then, to be honest, I'd say ever since I was 6 years old, I've been taking it seriously.
That's great. I mean, that's a young age to start taking it seriously and to have that awesome, like
Yeah.
crazy game and everything like that. And obviously, when you read a scouting report about yourself, you start to like hear, like you see things about yourself now that's like a great passer, great finisher, um, great basketball IQ. Where does that all come
Mhm.
from?
I would say, to be honest, it comes from obviously putting in so much work. My trainer, 3C training, he's helped me a lot. He's been training me ever since I was in the 5th grade. He himself was a smart player, and he has a very high IQ. So I feel like he's taught me how to be a very good point guard and not just score. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he teaching me like moves, stuff like that, but he's really worked on my shot and my IQ. So I think, and I give him a lot of credit for, teaching me ball screens, off ball movement, and getting my shot better. So yeah, a lot of the credit goes to him. And then obviously my two older brothers, they worked me out at a young age. So, they kind of set the foundation like, oh, on a left hand layup, you go off your right foot, right hand layup, you go off your left foot. So I had all that before I met 3 seed. And when I met 3 seed, my game just took off. It just took off to the next level.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know 3 Seed, he recently they started following me on Instagram, and it looks like a huge account, and it looks like works out with some great players in the
Yeah.
Canadian area and everything like that.
Mhm.
That's awesome, man. That's great that you have a trainer like that. So when you look back at this like upcoming off season that you have after AAU, what do you guys do to go back? Do you look at film? Like, how's it work out?
Yeah, for sure. So me and my trainer, we sit down usually, because the games are live streamed on either Baller TV or another source or like another website, I guess. So we'll look at games, we'll look at what I did good, what I did bad, and then basically we'll go from there and see what I got to improve on. And yeah, basically that's what we do.
That's awesome. Is there any like player that you try to watch like the film on, or is there anything that you try to do, or is it?
Um, Me personally, I like watching. I like to watch Chris Paul and James Harden. I feel like my game could be a good mix between those two. Um, my trainer, he likes guys like Trey Young, Luca, guys that play at their own pace kind of thing. Also Chris Paul, also and Kyrie Irving as well. So we try getting like a blend of pretty much all guards basically, see what they do good, try to see if that implements my game, and then yeah, basically just go from there.
That's awesome. That's great, man. How many more turns do you have left for the AAU season?
I have one coming up this week in Chicago, and then I have one in June and two in July.
Oh wow. So you're
Yeah.
going all the way down to Chicago. How far of a flight is that for you guys, for you to like
Well, I'm gonna be flying to Toronto tomorrow, so I can train with my club team, and then we'll be driving from Toronto to Chicago, which is about 6 hours.
oh wow. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
Anything you're looking
yeah.
forward to in that tournament?
Just getting out and competing. Showcasing my game, um, and winning. You know what I mean? I I love winning. I'm sure every elite athlete loves winning. So yeah, I just want to win, man. Go out there, play well, win, and it's always better when you win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely it is. Um,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. And I want to jump into your high school basketball season. How was your junior year this year? How the season pan out for you guys?
Man, I had a crazy junior year. So I was originally in Seattle playing with Nathan Hill High School, and what happened there was, some paperwork issues, and my visa got terminated, so I couldn't go back. So I was fortunate enough to come back home and go to my hometown school. And basically, I was fortunate enough to get in, like, somewhat of a season, especially after 2 years of COVID canceling our seasons. So I was able to play at home, and then we went to state, did all right. We finished top five, top six, and yeah, just fortunate enough to have a season.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a little scary because that could have been like another, missing another year because like COVID or sitting out after a COVID year and everything. Um, I mean, what was running through your mind when all that stuff happened? Like, were you just excited to be able to play?
Man, yeah, I definitely was nervous, not only about the playing part, but like, what am I gonna do? My school, my classes, how am I gonna finish this year off? And we got Fleetwood has great, like my hometown school, Fleetwood Park. They got great counselors. They were able to get me in classes, and yeah, I was definitely very happy when they said I could play. It meant
Uh,
it meant a lot, and yeah, man, I was super happy to play.
That's awesome. And that's great. You got to
Yeah,
play at Fleetwood Park, and obviously now going to J Addison Prep. What was the decision to go to J Addison?
man. If I'd be lying to you if I wouldn't say it was a coach. Coach Duvall, he's been on me ever since the high school season started. He's been reaching out every day. Man, I want you. I want you. And then when I went out in Toronto and during spring break for a North Pole Hoops camp, he drove out 3 hours just to see me play.
Oh my God.
And, a coach doing that for you, they want you. So, and then I took a visit to their campus. I liked the campus, and yeah, man, it was just the fact that he drove 3 hours and he was reaching out every day, every day. That was enough for me to say, yeah, I'm coming to play for you.
That's amazing, and that means a coach. That's great news that you had a coach like that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
took a liking to you and really wanted you on this team.
yeah, definitely. Shout out Coach Duvall.
Shout out coach for that's awesome. And now for guys like me, I don't know about J Addison Prep. Where's J Addison Prep? What league do you guys play in? Do you guys play against like Orangeville Prep? Who do you guys play against?
Yeah, so J Addison Prep is in Ontario, located in Vaughan. We play in the OSBA, so teams like Crestwood, Fort Erie,
Yep.
Orangeville Prep, um, Royal Crown. So it's a pretty good conference, and then we'll be taking I think a couple of trips to the States as well. I think we're gonna play in the IMG tournament next year, and then they're waiting to hear back if they can get into the grind session or not.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's really exciting to be. That's a great league, first of all, to be playing in, and then to get into some of those terms, the IMG and maybe the grind session.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What are you looking forward to the most to get into those? Playing in that league next year against Orangeville, Fort Erie. Obviously, we had some great play. Another great player. Orangeville. I know some of the guys coming down here to Rhode Island to play at URI.
Yeah, yeah.
What's it like to play against those teams? What are you looking forward to about it?
I love competition, so I know that's the best competition in Canada. And yeah, man. Like for me personally, like another reason why I chose J Addison is because they've always been an underdog team. So I want to be the guy that changes that. I want to be the guy that goes there next year, and we're a team that's competing to win the championship next year. So that's my goal. I just want to again just win every game, go out there and compete, showcase what I got, and then hopefully bring a championship to J Addison.
I love it, man. I love that and I watched the previous interview, and I love that you have kind of like, I want to prove people wrong attitude.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
love that.
For me, yeah, for me, it's always been like that because being Indian, a lot of people just overlook you just based on that fact. They always say, "Oh, you don't pass the eye test." I'm like, "What eye test? I mean, I can put a ball through a hoop. What do you mean by eye test? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you don't look like you play basketball. You don't look like this, that, and yeah, for me, it's always been about proving people wrong. And when I got my Division I offer from the University of Portland, that was like a moment where I sat back and I was like, wow. I was like, man, hard work, it pays off.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, man. And that's like, and it sounds like you have a chip on your shoulder because of those things that you just mentioned. And,
Mhm.
it's unfortunate people see that like that because, if you can ball, you can ball. It doesn't matter. There's
Yeah,
no eye
exactly.
test. You just you show the eye test on the court. There doesn't need to be another eye test after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're getting Division 1 offers. That's like the other
Mhm.
thing. And
Yeah, that's another.
how does that feel too? I mean, getting those Division 1 offers and receiving that and getting that from Portland State and then also getting looks from other schools.
No, so no, it was University of Portland.
University of Portland, sorry.
Yeah, University of Portland. I still remember, man. I was driving to a practice in Seattle back in June last year, and I talked to Portland like a couple of days before, and you know, it just seemed like interest, right? And then I had a weekend where I had a game where I scored 40 points, and I'm not sure if that had anything to do with them offering me, but it might have. So I don't know. And then basically, my coach, we were in the car. He's like, Rav, we're about to call University of Portland. And I'm like, oh, okay, what for? He's like, it's a surprise. And then in the back of my head, I was like, oh man, are they about to offer me? And then I remember we FaceTimed them, the whole staff, and they're like, man, we're offering you a full ride scholarship. I'm like, wow. I didn't even know what to say. Like, I was just in shock, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because for
man.
me, for me, it was a big deal, like going through everything that I went through. All the people saying, yo, you don't pass the eye test, you're not this, you're not that, you're Indian. So for me, picking up that offer was, it was huge. And then obviously I want to say thank you to Portland, obviously, because they were the first ones that offered me, and they were the first ones to believe in my game. So, you know, shout out Portland.
Dude, I love it, man. And your story is, hearing everything that you had to go through, and your story is one for the ages. Obviously, it almost sounds like a movie, right? And it's
Yeah,
only going to get better from here as you keep going, because I'm reading articles. There's others Division I schools taking interest in you, and
yeah,
as you play more and like you play in that league next year, I guarantee you're going to get a ton of more Division I offers too, on top of what you received already, and an interest. So it's awesome. So congratulations, man, because the sky's the limit for you right now. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
of course, and everything I read about you is just like a finisher, high IQ, can score the basket. I mean, there's always like just great like scouting reports about you. So obviously we know you can ball, and there's going to be more interest coming your way for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the
great,
plan,
man.
That's the goal.
Yeah, of course it is, and I'm really happy for you, man. And you seem like a very great kid. So I want to just ask some questions that are more outside of basketball, just to kind of, for the listeners, to get to know you. Just some fun questions as well too. So we're gonna do, what's your favorite food?
Oh man, I always get asked this one. This one is tough. I think I'm just gonna go with the good old reliable. I'm just gonna go with pizza.
Pizza. That's a good one. What kind is there? Or is
Yeah,
it just cheese, or is there a specific kind?
yeah. Uh, I mean, yeah, I'd probably say cheese. It's hard to mess up pizza, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is that pineapples don't belong on pizza.
Yeah. All right. I agree with you on that one. And then, do you have a favorite
Yeah,
NBA player or NBA team, or both?
man, I might, I might face a lot of criticism for this one, but my favorite player is probably James Harden.
DeAndre, who? I'm sorry.
James Harden. James Harden.
Oh, James Harden. Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Do you think he's gonna
yeah.
stay in Philly, or do you think he's gonna go somewhere else?
No, I think he'll stay in Philly. I think he likes it there. And then second of all, obviously he requested a trade from Brooklyn. So it wouldn't, a lot of the media slander would be like, oh, he just requested Brooklyn, now he's requesting a trade from Philly, stuff like that.
Yeah. It's true. I'm glad. I hope he stays. It'd be nice. I really liked him as a player. I'm a lefty, so I like the lefty. Got to root for the lefties as well too.
Yeah.
And then, do you have a favorite basketball shoe?
Kobe Nines,
Kobe
best
9s?
basketball shoe of all time. Yeah, it's the best basketball shoe of all time.
Are they just comfortable, or what makes them the best basketball shoe?
This is everything, man. Comfort. They're low tops. I like low tops. And then their grip is really good as well.
All right, I'll have to find a pair of
Yeah.
Kobe 9s. I know I just saw a bunch of a thing for Kobe's that just came out about Kobe collectibles.
Yeah.
And then, last question: what's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball and sports?
Uh it's tough, man. I like playing pickup football, and I also like swimming.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and another thing is I also have a dog, so I'm really close to my dog. So
Oh,
I do a lot of things. I take my dog for a walk, take him to the park, you know, little things like that.
nice. What kind of dog do you have?
I got a pit bull.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's a big dog, like 150 pounds.
Whoa, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dog would eat my dogs. I have two beagles, so they're small.
No, see, that's the wrong perception people get about my dog. They're like, oh, he's a big dog, he's rude, this is that. I'm like, no, man, he's actually pretty nice. Just got to get to know the guy.
Yeah, I feel like pit bulls get a bad perception. They're
Yeah,
usually, every pit bull I've had an interaction with hasn't like or is like the nicest dog and probably one of the smartest dogs I've ever like interacted with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like the thing with all dogs is they're gonna act like how you raise them.
Yeah.
So if you raise them to be like, oh, attack this, attack that, then they're gonna be like that. But if you raise them and be polite, sit, all that stuff, they'll be like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
This has been awesome, Rav. This has been great to get to know you, and I can't thank you enough for reaching out. I mean, player of your stature and things that you got going on for yourself. Great things to come down the line for you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Do you have any questions, comments, or statements before we sign off?
Yeah, man. Just I appreciate you having me on the show. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep watching your podcast. All the episodes have been great so far, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we'll have to have you back on the show during the season next year too, as well.